Hello again, everyone. Our jellyfish yesterday didn't work out too well, but today we're back. Now, I've got one of them fancy things that shows you key presses. Unfortunately, it doesn't show you mouse clicks, and I will warn you that I have changed some keys to do other things because I do not like the Blender controls. I like the traditional WER, etc. for moving, rescaling, and stuff like that. My cat's already here to bug me. Come on, kitty, get down, please. I thought what I'd do today, because as we all know, plasticity is the gun making application. I thought I might escalate that a bit and make some sort of orbital ion cannon anime style. So what I'm thinking, I might just sketch out a rough sort of idea of what I'm thinking so we're all on the same page. I'm thinking just some sort of linear tube thing, and then probably sort of, your standard, obviously I'm not going for any dimensional accuracy or anything here, some sort of standard outer dealies. Are you all different pieces, or are you going to go together? No, you are different pieces. Oh, it's not going to work anyway. If I do that, it's going to want me to. Why is it selecting the middle? That makes zero. Oh, I guess it is coplanar, isn't it? Oh, that's a bit of a bum. So we will instead go for a thicken. And I need to get, I haven't streamed or anything, recorded video much in so long. I need to get out of my habit of saying all the time. So if I ever get popular enough that people watch me, feel free to complain in chat and just say at me. Alright, so we'll do something like that and then put like a, fancy gizmos on here for lens arrays and stuff like that, and some swirly stuff and girders. And then what I'm thinking is to do some pretty typical, though I always think this is a cool look, like in anime you often get these sort of, and this is kind of, if you're old enough to remember Final Fantasy Spirits Within, kind of, see if we can get this to go on an axis that I actually like. No, you don't want to go on an axis that I actually like. All right. That's okay. Let's just do a cylinder. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that movie, but they had these cool, like, energy battery things on wings, which is very sort of anime to have sort of these wings with power packs or whatever on them. So to do some of this kind of some kind of nonsense like this, where we just have a bunch of these cool battery things, which we're obviously going to also make as well. So I will start on that, and they're way too big, but that's the vague idea of what I want to build, but a cool version of that. So I'll get rid of that. I'm not going to worry about scale or anything as long as it looks sort of internally consistent. Now I think starting with the main structure is, or at least the basis of the main structure, is probably the way to go. So let's just make a cylinder. That's probably too short. I think it's going to be pretty long, or at least I want a pretty long profile. So I think something like that. And so we're going to have our external batteries up here. So it would still need to generate power and that kind of thing. So let's grab an isoparam and somewhere up here, I think. And let's make this wider, and this will be like the generator battery sort of section. Well, not battery section, but you know, where it takes the power and converts it into whatever the laser system itself uses. And we might leave a thin connecting area there where all the cables and stuff, and maybe we'll put some cables on the outside. Grab that. Well, isoparam again. And I found isoparam's just a quick way to separate sections like this. Unfortunately, you can't kind of scale them once you've got them in, so you have to do them individually. So I'll put one there, and then I want it to narrow down again down here. If I actually put isoparam on my... I don't, so I might put isoparam in the favorites. Add to favorites. We'll put the other one down here, grab this. Don't want that to be thick as the generator section, but this sort of, imagine this is the main cannon section. So this is where it's doing all its, you know, refracting stuff through laser lenses and all that kind of nonsense to step up the laser to full power, or, you know, ion beam or whatever this thing fires. And then we'll put the actual like firing lens array down here beyond the satellite itself. So this is sort of the main body of the satellite, and I don't know, the pilot or whatever probably goes up here, or maybe we'll put a section, maybe even stick a section out the side, do some asymmetry, where the computers and the person who's actually firing the thing sits. And then I want to put these structures on the outside, which would be maybe solar panels. Maybe put some solar panel sort of stuff on the outside of those as a secondary power system. Maybe that's what powers the satellite itself. Or they probably, you know, if we had some connectors also, you know, just structural stuff. So I want to keep those relatively simple in their design, in their basic design, but put a bunch of stuff on them, I think. So what sort of angle? I don't want to go that far. I don't want it to really encapsulate the whole station. Sort of TIE fighter look could be cool. Maybe around there, I think. I think that could be alright. I'll just duplicate that one. Give it some width. And is that what I want? Maybe even taper them a bit at the end. Do something like that. And maybe even grab this one here. Unfortunately, you don't always get your snap guides. I really wish you could snap between objects like this. It's a real pain. So what we can do is I can snap that to that point and move it this way. But obviously this is only going to work in a scenario like this where I've got, you know, a straight line available to me, or whatever the snap points. I'm not actually sure if I move this. Yeah, see, it doesn't actually really snap anywhere else. It's only, you're going to have to use this fella. So you're not getting angles or tangents or any of that kind of thing that you want, which is funny because if you put a line here, you can get your tangents. So it snapped to curve tangent there, and theoretically if you go this way, it'll snap to curve tangent here. So the guides are there. You just can't summon them with the shift key like you can normally when you're moving other stuff around. So I think that's something that could definitely do with being added. And I did actually put a thing on the feature requests, and no one's said anything, so no one else has voted on it. So I think they're all dumb, or just don't understand what I meant, maybe. Because honestly, I think that's super important. Maybe I'll snip that bit of the video and post it into the feature request to be like, come on guys, this is like necessary. All right, so we duplicated that and I've just joined those together. I think I want this to be at the height of one of the bottom areas. Probably this edge there. I think I want to line up with that. I think that'd be probably the cool way to go. And then we'll take it all the way up to this line up here, I think. So as with everything, there are a couple of ways you could do this. I could just, I could offset, not offset it up there, I could thicken it up to there, or I could duplicate this and snap it where I want it and then loft it, which is generally the way that I've been doing things. It makes me feel better that things are exactly how I want them. It is more steps, of course, because now I've got to patch the ends and all this sort of thing, but it also lets me kind of check this out and see if it's really what I want. I'm thinking maybe it's not exactly what I want. I'm thinking maybe what I want. Should grab these points here and grab these points here. I'm thinking what I might want is something like this. I'll see if that lofts nicely. It might not. Okay, it did. Good. I love it when things actually work properly. See if it patches nicely. Alright, doesn't like patching. Okay, that's okay. Alright, we'll commit that. And then I will see if it'll let me patch it individually. Which did, but that's gross. Alright. Put one there. And that's one of the ones where I've changed it so that there is, I've put the repeat command on my thumb button on my mouse so that I don't have to mess around. You don't want to work either. Alright, let's separate this. Can we patch just that? Yes, we can. Beautiful. You can see there, though, that's what the problem probably would have been, that this is a non-planar face. So it's probably got a bit confused there when I tried to loft the whole thing or patch the whole thing at once. So I should probably pull those points down a bit as well. I don't necessarily have to, of course, but it will help, and I think it will actually make a nicer shape. So that's the primary reason that I'm going to say yes. Grab him and him. I think I just hit the wrong button. No, I didn't. Good. Alright, I'm not going to take them as far. It's a nice angle. It's kind of a nice angle. Yeah, I think I like that first one. So you can see again there I'm hitting R to scale, not S, because that's the standard in most applications. It's Blender that's weird. So commit all that, loft. And let's see now that I've made that change. We'll see if it'll let me patch without messing around. Again, it has, but it's gross. So we can knock the tension up. It doesn't like that. 0.1. It does not like patching that. Alright, that's fine. Just go back and do it the same way as I was doing it a minute ago. So probably the easiest way to do this, if it'll let me, I can probably do it without putting those extra lines in. I'll probably just loft that, use that as a guide. Looks fine. Loft this one, use that as a guide. Well, it doesn't look like I actually need to use it as a guide, but just to make sure, you know. join those, loft between those, and then we could use these as a, if we want to actually have continuity. I don't actually want continuity, so there's not much point doing this, but saves a tiny little bit of doing something else in a second. And all those curves are redundant now. I am actually just going to delete them because I think if I remake these parts, I'll probably do totally new curves. So I don't think there's any point preserving those. So we can do the same thing down here basically without as much messing around. We don't need to do it on the outside, so we can just grab that and we'll just change it to G0, make them all G0 down here. And that gives us what we want. Grab this one, same thing, loft it, grab that edge, tell them all to be G0, and third time, loft those, grab both of these, say BG0 please, and a thing of beauty. Looks a bit flimsy now, doesn't it? I think beveling those so far. Before I play with the offset, maybe I should actually join all this together. Please be one solid. It might help a little bit. So it's not gonna do what I want, and we probably can't. Yeah, it's not gonna do what we want either. Which is one of the problems that I have, and that's probably a me problem with plasticity, is I still don't sort of get how these things work. Like I would expect this to pull out this whole face in that direction rather than doing this sort of offset thing that it's doing. I wonder if any of the options, fixed, normal, prefer, step. Oh, that's closer to what I want. Moving. Is there some combo of this that? No, so it doesn't look like there's a combo of this that does what I want it to do. Kind of, you either offset it or you get the whole thing. Let's try if we select the edges instead. See, then we get this, which very rarely actually does anything when you move these. So I don't know what this is actually supposed to do. And that's using a move command, so, you know, I don't know. That one actually does confuse me a bit. So what I'll do instead is I'll grab these top edges and let's give this a bit of a bevel. If it'll, no, you don't want to fill at this edge and save me from myself. That's just rude, I think. Okay, you're going to do silliness. So we'll try thicken. Thicken doesn't seem as reliable as it used to be. No, see, thicken's just basically doing what I imagine offset does, instead of actually adding thickness to this. So what we can do, and this is what I've found is pretty much the solution at the moment, if you want to thicken anything, is to turn it into a sheet and then use... Stop moving. You make me look silly. Actually, we can just type sheet because thicken sheet's what we want. It's turn it into a sheet and then thicken sheet. It seems to be the best way. It can be a little unpredictable, like you might not get exactly what you want. In this case, it has just come straight back, which is what I want, so that's fine. Fine in this circumstance. Now, however, you will end up with these inner faces, which when you ball it back together, these will go away anyway, but you might also want to come in here and remove these and remove them from the other one and loft them together, or, there are circumstances where this isn't going to be a perfect solution. In this situation, just QQing them should work and stick the two together nicely. Looks like it has worked. We've still got a bit of a funny edge here, which, I could loft these two or whatever. Or we might even be able to, this command never never does what it does for everyone else for me, but I assume I'm using it wrong. Let's try match face. Oh, beautiful. Look, it actually worked for once. I've used it correctly for first time in a long time. F match face. Beautiful. All right. No. See, why is that? Why is that one kept a line and that one hasn't? This is one of the things about plasticity I don't understand. I'm sure there's maths. I just did a quick clean up there. Uh, so it's removed that face because I said no. Don't give me a stupid face for no reason. But then you've got faces, but not here. Like yeah. Anyway, doesn't really matter. It just confuses me sometimes. So one thing I would like to do with these is make them look a bit more like structural elements than just huge sheets of metal. So I'm going to hide the main body for a second, and let's just fiddle around designing some sort of inner geometry here that's sort of close enough. And this is where we really hope our snap works. So something like that, and then we could either rotate this, or ideally what I should do is make sure these are the same width, but we don't really have the tools for that. I'd have to make sure I did that while I was building the object, make sure that the measurements are about the same. So let's quickly do it again and see if we can pay attention to that. So I should probably pay attention to all the measurements if I'm going to care about that. All right, so that's roughly 200. That's roughly 200. And I can't read that because everything else is in the way. All right, you're roughly 50. So ideally what I would want here is to have a measurement from this point down to where I am so that I could see that that's 50 as well. But we don't have that. So what's the next measurement? 130, 145? That doesn't sound right. Oh, we're going down. That looks way bigger. Obviously my measurement brain doesn't work. So I'm going to do that. Make this one whatever I decided this was. 5. Pretty sure I decided it was 5. That looks about right. Does that look about right? Are you 5? You are 5. Okay. All right. So if we snag that one, join all that together. Hopefully you sort of understood what I was doing there and why I was doing it, to try and, get these roughly equal. Put a little bit of a bevel on there, and then if we flip this fella upside down, do a bit of a freestyle perhaps, just so that it's not in the middle of nowhere. Why would your center be up there? Oh, because you're still on that one. Okay, that was a bit odd. And that's why we did that. So basically, to try and make sure these would roughly line up like this. Something like that. And then duplicate these babies. Obviously, I'm only eyeballing this. This wouldn't work if we were actually doing some NASA space science. But as far as art goes, like, this is, again, close enough for government work, which I think is a hilarious expression. I've worked for the government. When your boss tells you that 90% accurate is good enough, all right, it's not good enough for me, but if your boss will be happy with it, then I'll get paid. So I'll flop those in there. Kind of want to do them on the sides as well. Now that I see how cool that could look. So let's grab all these. I might actually leave them there for a second, duplicate them. Let's get top view. Get it roughly centered. And then rotate it into place. That's kind of cool, I think. Alright, so same thing, we'll just select all the faces. Push these through. Make them double-sided. You don't actually need to do this, it just makes me feel better to have them sticking out both sides before I boolean. Then we'll mirror those across there. Then what I'm going to do is grab all these curves that we've got, put those in a group. I'll just call them side cutouts. That's not going to mean anything to me later probably, but apparently I've got caps lock on. Alright, we'll just hide those. Then we can grab this and, oh, not that one, this one, hit Q, select all of this, hit right mouse button, and we have this beautiful thing, which I now don't like because it's not symmetrical, but I'm just going to tell myself to shut up and get on with it because who cares? Now I wonder if I can do an offset on these or if it will get upset. It'll probably get upset at me. Yeah, you're going to get upset at me if I try and offset all this. Yeah, I figured you would. Alright. It wants to offset along there for these. Alright. I think there is a specifically, offset face. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do. Alright, so this is going to actually offset the face, not just do lines for me. Alright, so as with everything in plasticity, we have some options. I'm just going to restrict my selection to edges so that I don't miss anything. Or that I don't misclick on something else and mess up my whole selection since I want to grab a bunch at once. And I didn't hold down shift, so so I've messed up the selection already. Alright. It's alright. It's alright. Alright. Grab these and we will duplicate those, which gives us a whole bunch more curves. And now with luck, it will offset them all without me having to. No, it's going to offset the ones in the middle the wrong way. That's a bit of a bum. Alright, that's fine. I just want to offset these enough that we can do some detailing. Let's just go 5 centimeters. Very small satellite, apparently. It's for killing ants. Not that we should be killing anything. Shouldn't be glorifying law. Alright, so that gives us what we wanted, which is offsetting those curves out a little bit, just so that we can move some stuff around without, or with a little border. So grab all these, and then if I put my selection back, so we'll do a Shift I for imprint, hide the occlusion, So I might leave the occlusion on for a second and see if it will line up on the other side. No, it doesn't look like it will. This is where this is a bit of a bum. Like, I'd like to ideally do both sides at once, but I'll probably have to come back. All right, and then we commit that, and hopefully if we hide all these curves, there we go, we've got our outline that we've just imprinted on there. So we can imagine that this is some sort of, you know, space metal framework that's holding the thing together, and then, you know, we put some solar panels on the outside or something if we want to. But that gives us a nice sort of shape to deal with as a sort of gantry network. I will. Do I want to pop these out, or do I want to move this back? Kind of want to move this back, partly just to see if it works, honestly. It does. Lovely. Yeah, it's kind of cool. What does it look like if I move it forward? Oh, so then it kind of looks like there's these weird rings on the inside for stability or whatever. Interesting. No, I like it. I do. All right. So I'm just going to reselect one of these so I can actually grab all of these and see what it does. The alternate version of this would be to select all the rings and pop them out, which might be the better option if this doesn't. No, it looks like selecting all those faces did do a better job. So I think that looks kind of cool. I really wish I'd done this on the inside now instead of on the outside, because I think I actually want this on the inside more than on the outside. All right, I'm just gonna put that back how it was. It's too chunky, isn't it? It's just too chunky. I think I need to do the same thing but smaller. It's just wrong. Nothing's a waste. It's all learning. Why have we got these twice? Oh, because I haven't gone back far enough. All right. That's where I want to be, perhaps. No, it's still not. There's where I want to be. Just the curves. Well, I guess I can fix my symmetry complaint now. No, none of those want to do what I want them to do. I think what I might actually do before I mirror those, I think I might actually put a guide in and mirror along this guide, just so that I can get sort of similar to that gap there. That's probably, again, close enough. Mirror freestyle. I don't know if I've actually tried to mirror freeform in a different direction. I want to mirror a different way. How do I mirror a different way? That's obviously how we mirror X. I don't seem to be mirroring anything. So how do I mirror Y? Do I need to tell it to mirror Y and then go freeform? No. Do I need to do a guideline like that? So what did I just do? Tell me, why are you over there? Why is there one line over there? Oh, that's my that's my guideline. God damn. Oh, I hate this program sometimes. I don't like this is truly a like I don't understand why this is not doing what I want it to do kind of situation. Alt X. Then we hit F. Select a point. And that's gone X again. Well, that's at least done it. Alright. So I think maybe the problem was that I wasn't isometric when I started. Though I thought I was, but I guess I can think that all I like. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I think it if it wasn't true. Alt X, freestyle, that way. Hey! So apparently, if you do it right, it works better. It's a pro tip from me to you. So, so that's more like the pattern that we want. I think that's going to look a lot better. Obviously, it's a lot more messing around, particularly when I want to do the other outlines and stuff. But I don't know how much longer I'll be streaming this for. It's only been 37 minutes. So I'll probably go a little bit longer. Probably try and get this bit finished. Why have you got to do these things to me? Let's rotate around here. All right. I think that is going to look better. So we'll grab all these again. Control 3. See if that'll let us change to the face. Doesn't seem to want to. Even Control 1's not changing them to a vertex selection. That's interesting. Right, we'll just do 3 so that we don't select anything else other than faces. These actually look like kind of cool boxes, don't they? I'm going to make some cool boxes. Make some beautiful detail sections. Alright, stop thinking about that, me. Can't do everything at once. Now, I'm just curious, if I do this, can I control 2 to get the edges? No, it's obviously just with these things it doesn't like doing that. So manually select all these. Duplicate. Go to top view. Roughly try and get them. And I don't know if you know this with these sort of manipulators. Generally, if you pull out further, you can get a finer manipulation. It's that whole stick on a rock leverage thing. That looks pretty okay. Nice. What a champion. Hey? Masterful. Are we too close to that edge? We may be. But it's okay if it goes through that edge, isn't it? Isn't it? I don't know if it is, honestly. Is that just going to look weird? I think that's just going to look weird. It's the impression I get. I'm going to move, but I'll have it line up with these sections. Then what I might do is... No, don't be that guy. Oh, you don't want to group unselect things. No. Fine. Fine, we'll do it your stupid way. Again, hit V so that we can line up our selection. Alright, that should be inside the line. Obviously, if we change the spacing there, it's going to look a little bit different, but hopefully that is cool. Definitely think that's better than it sticking out the outside. Oh, they still look like really cool boxes. Oh, now it's on the inside. Can't have that. Here's me thinking I'd sort this all out. Might actually have to scale these ones a bit. I really don't want to move them closer together. Wonder if I can get away with. Will that work? It does. Beautiful. All right. Oh, it's selected both the face and the doodly-doo. Now, unfortunately, I can't sort of do a middle. I wonder what that keyed onto. It's just stroke of luck, wasn't it? Oh, no, I didn't want to select you. Stop being a stroke of luck. Sometimes it's easy to just figure out which one's the first one. I guess it's just face anywhere, and I happen to line it up pretty close so it looked right. Let's do something like that. Move it back out a little bit. That's better. Alright, so dupe that over there. Look at all those solids. Group these fellas up. Hide them. Grab that. Q. Grab all that. Right mouse. Still don't really like it, but it's better than it was. I think what I need to do, I think what'll make it look better is thickening out some of these areas in between the blocks. Make it look a little more industrial. So something like that. Duplicate. Snap that. Grab both of these, duplicate. Now, unfortunately, we don't sort of have the tools necessarily to snap elegantly to these. In this case, it was the center of the object, so it did actually work. Keep saying things like that. But you see here, there's nothing to actually snap it into here that will make practical. But we can again move our gizmo and snap like that, so we can do it. You just have to think outside the box sometimes. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't remember things that you've done, so got to do it again. And top. And there we have a selection of lines. Now, obviously, these lines are not going to do what we want them to do because they're not coincident with the faces on here. So there's two things we can try and hope that one or both of them works. So the first thing I'm going to do is just select them all, select this guy, go for an imprint, hit it normal, and see if that does it. And it seems like it will. Hasn't quite covered this edge, but that's just a matter of moving these or extending these ones out a bit. Could also use the extend line command, but I don't like it, or haven't had good experience with it yet, so other people swear by it, so it's probably just I don't know how to use it. So that's going to work. And the other way, obviously imprint works, so I'm going to use imprint, but the other thing, if imprint hadn't worked, what I would try is project curved body and see if it would do it. Now, it's probably because I'm trying to do a whole bunch of them at once that failed. Project curve to body. And you can see there, that's lined the curve up nicely. So if we wanted to do, and again, we can hit normal to try and make sure, and you can see it's basically exactly the same thing where it hasn't gone all the way there. But you know, if we want to put this as a separate piece of geometry on the outside rather than imprinting it, this is the way to go. And honestly, I might do that. First thing I'm going to do, of course, is grab these and just extend them out a little bit so they go all the way. And let's have a go. Let's see if we can project more than one at a time, because I'm pretty sure we should be able to. Project curved body. No, it just won't do more than one at a time. Okay, that's fine. Annoying, but fine. Project curved body, normal. Great. Just hit redo, the same thing. And you can see it duplicates them and trims them. That is a problem, though, if it's not going to go all the way across there. So that being the case, and that is weird that you can't do them all at once since you can imprint them all at once. Let's just go and imprint. Grab all those again. I'm going to just group them up and hide them. I like to do that just because I might want them again. It looks like these haven't gone all the way across either. This is only the middle one that's worked properly. That's interesting, isn't it? Imprint again, please. Okay, so vector is doing vector's doing that part. Normal's doing the other part. That's annoying. Glad we kept those parts in case we needed them, eh? And then hopefully we can just do a bit of this action. No, you're going to be upset. All right, buddy. You just have a little rest. So again, we're going to work around it. Same thing we did earlier. I'm going to duplicate those faces. So I've now got sheets, and I'll select the sheets themselves. Oops. Select the sheets themselves. F. Pretty sure I do have thicken up here. No? Huh. I thought I'd used it so much yesterday that I put it on there. Thicken these as separate sheets because it's going to be a whiny baby girl about not letting me do it otherwise. And that's sort of how I would solve that. Now, I think I want to actually do the uprights as well in the same. Or do I want to do them in the same, or do I want to offset them a little bit so they look like separate pieces of metal? That's a good question. I think I want to do them as one piece just to save messing around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this for now. And I think I might end the stream there, nearly an hour. Pardon me. But what I'm going to do from here is take those same faces, do the same thing again, basically, except do uprights in these areas, and then I'll select all those and the upright bits, duplicate all that together, make that into one sheet with the join command, and then I've probably got time to do it. I just want to keep the stream under an hour, but we're not at an hour yet, so what am I whining about, eh? And then this kind of leads you to the question, like, why bother if I'm going to have to do this anyway? Why bother imprinting them like that in the first place? Probably not worth it. We probably just learned something. Like, there is no point imprinting them because it's not going to work anyway. It's a real pain that we lose our little thing there. Is that actually snapped on? It is beautiful. Although, I actually thought that was going to be worse than it is because it did, it did at least go to the right place, but it wasn't high enough because obviously you can't snap all the way to the top doing it this way. But we might be able to do a bit of this action. I'm not sure if that's going to put us in the right spot down the bottom here. Let's have a look. No, you can see how that one's, because I didn't actually snap it to the object itself. It's ended up behind it. So that's not really what I want. So it might be easiest in this situation to actually do it here, which is the wrong spot because it needs to go to the top. But for the first one, get it in the right place down here. Unfortunately, it doesn't want to snap here now. Come on. All right, there we go. And that should be, if I rotate around that. All right, so that's in the right place where we want it. Then we can pop that all the way to the top. And then we can see what of this we can grab. And this is many, many pieces, so it's probably not the most practical way to do it. Let's just draw a line all the way down there. And this one's. So again, I'm just snapping these to the other parts. And we should be able to simply Grab all 4 of those, loft them, do a G0 loft. With luck, no, even G0 wants to be all fancy and round. So just loft those 2. And loft those 2. And that gives us these 2 sheets here. Join those, hopefully. You don't want to join? Buddy? You're right next to each other. Are you telling me you're not coincident somehow? There we go. I don't know why it didn't do it the first time. And again, F thicken sheet. We can pull those out. And then, if the angles are wrong or whatever, we can match face them to something. But it looks like those have gone exactly how we want. Beautiful. So that's how we can do that. Obviously now we can grab this whole little thing. We don't have to do all that work again. We can just mirror it over there. You can see I didn't do these ones as long on the top, which is a bit silly. But we can use my least favorite tool probably, because again it's just so unpredictable. I don't understand it yet. The old offset tool. And that's what the offset tool's for. I don't know why I couldn't just drag that up now. Like, can't I snap it? Did I press the wrong button? I might have pressed the wrong button. I might have used a Maya shortcut. No, it really is just not working. I want to snap it to where I want to snap it. God damn it! Come on, buddy. You can have a better attitude, please. All right, let's see if we can just move it. No, move doesn't work out. Let's go back to the start and just use the move command from the start. There we go. Screw you, offset tool. You're always wrong. I hate that offset tool. I don't know why. It just really gets me. And obviously we do the same thing on the outside here. Grab those outside edges, loft them out, and then grab all those curves we made before in this group 2. And I can project them on there as per the original plan, and make another horrible mess. But that'll do it, and that'll get us where we want to go. And you can see that it's, if you actually measured all this stuff out, you could do it pretty accurately. Even when you're thickening the sheets, you can thicken them to a dimension, stuff like that. So much as that seems to be a bit of a trial, of course, I'm only learning to use this software, so I'm not a genius, and I'm also not making a video like this and then editing it down to 10 minutes so that it looks like I'm better than I am, because I'm not. This is how good I am. All right, I'm going to stop there. If anyone watches this, thank you. And I probably will go back to the jellyfish at some point, but today I'm going to finish this thing off, and it'll be up on the internet somewhere later on. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later.